The meeting hall was huge. It stretched out for 3 kilometers in every direction, built from crystal that caught and reflected light in 1,000 different ways. Kate Morrison stood at the human podium and looked out at the crowd. She had never seen so many different kinds of aliens in one place before. There were creatures made of gas that floated in special containers. There were beings that looked like living crystals. There were reptiles and birds and things that had no comparison to anything on Earth. Kate wore her dark blue uniform. She had pressed it carefully that morning, making sure every crease was perfect. Next to her stood Greg Palmer, an older man with gray hair and steady hands. He was working the controls for their presentation display. They were the only 2 humans in a room filled with hundreds of alien species. The meeting had started badly. Now it was getting worse. Kate spoke into the microphone. Her voice came out clear and strong, even though her heart was beating fast. The human delegation asks for membership in the Galactic Council. Earth has met all the technology requirements. We have shown we want peace with all species. Peace? The word came from the Vexian ambassador. He was a tall reptile with green scales that reflected the light. His voice came through a translator device that turned his words into something Kate could understand. Your species has fought over 15,000 wars in just 5,000 years. Other aliens made sounds of agreement. Kate felt Greg tense up beside her, but she kept her face calm. She had practiced this for months. Many species have difficult pasts, Kate said. We have spent the last 100 years working toward peace and cooperation. It is not your past that worries us. This voice belonged to Ambassador Threll, a Centaurian. He had multiple eyes on stalks that moved independently. All of them were pointed at Kate. It is your planet. Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world. No species from any world above Class 7 has ever been given full membership. Kate had known this would come up. She had prepared an answer. We understand that Earth's classification seems unusual to you. But humans have adapted to our environment. We believe this makes us strong candidates for membership. Unusual? The Quillen delegate stood up. She had feathers that covered her body, and a crest on her head that was now standing straight up. In her species, this meant she was either angry or amused. Kate suspected it was both. Your gravity would crush 70% of the species in this room. Your air has so much oxygen it would poison most of us. Your planet tilts on its axis. This creates what you call seasons. These are extreme changes in temperature that would kill most civilized species. Another ambassador spoke up. This one wore a full environmental suit because the air in the chamber would kill it. The voice came through speakers on the suit. Your oceans have salt concentrations that would dissolve our bodies. The rain that falls on your world is acidic. Your moon is too large. It creates tides that reshape your land every single day. Greg's jaw got tight. Kate put her hand on his arm, a small gesture that told him to stay calm. She had expected resistance. What she had not expected was how organized it seemed. These ambassadors had planned their attack together. Honored ambassadors, Kate said, keeping her voice respectful. Humanity has not just survived on Earth. We have thrived there. We believe this ability to adapt makes us valuable members of the galactic community. Valuable? The Vexian ambassador laughed. It was not a nice sound, or dangerous. A species that thinks your conditions are normal cannot be trusted in civilized space. What you call weather includes lightning strikes with billions of volts. You have rotating air columns that destroy everything they touch. You have frozen water that falls from the sky hard enough to hurt people. Your planet, another delegate added, circles a star that shoots radiation at you constantly. You have volcanoes that can block out your sun. Your ground moves without warning and destroys your cities. And yet you build cities right on top of the cracks in your planet's surface. Kate felt the mood in the room turning against them. This was more than just concern about Earth's environment. These aliens were afraid of humans. I notice, Kate said carefully, that none of you have mentioned our technology, our advances in quantum computing, our medical research, our contributions to science. Technology can be shared, the Centaurian ambassador interrupted, but a species made by chaos, that cannot be trusted in a peaceful society. We have reviewed your application very carefully, Lieutenant Morrison. The answer is no. Voices around the chamber agreed with him. Kate looked at Greg. He gave her a small nod. They had one more card to play. Using it would change everything. There would be no going back. Kate stepped forward. Her hand moved to the control panel. Before you vote, there is something you need to see. "We have seen enough Earth propaganda," the Vexian snapped. "This is not propaganda," Kate said quietly. "This is classified information. Humanity has kept this hidden since we first made contact with other species. We swore we would only reveal it if we had no other choice." The chamber became silent. Even the translator devices seemed to stop humming. Kate looked up at the thousands of faces watching her. Some had 2 eyes. Some had dozens. Some had no eyes at all but somehow still saw her. "You asked why Earth is so lethal. You want to know what makes a death world dangerous. Let me show you what you are really dealing with." She pressed several buttons on the display controls. The air above the podium began to shimmer and glow. Words appeared in every language used by every species in the chamber. Kate could read the human version clearly. Classified Death World protocols. Greg took over the controls. Kate stepped back. "What you are about to see," Greg said, and his voice was heavy with the weight of what they were about to do, "is why Earth is not just classified as a death world. It is why Earth is the standard. It is why every other death world is measured against Earth." The display grew larger. It filled the center of the massive chamber with images and data. A story was beginning to unfold. A story the galaxy had never heard before. Kate Morrison looked out at the assembled aliens. She saw their fear. She saw their curiosity. She saw their doubt. And she knew that after today nothing would ever be the same. The humans had come to ask for membership. They had been rejected. Now they would show the galaxy the truth. They would show them what it really meant to come from Earth. They would show them what it meant to be human. Greg's fingers moved across the controls. The first images began to appear in the holographic display. Kate took a deep breath. Her heart was still beating fast, but now it was with determination, not nervousness. They had come too far to stop now. The truth would come out. The galaxy would see humanity for what they really were, and after that, the choice would be up to the aliens. Would they accept humans as allies, or would they reject them as threats? Kate did not know the answer, but she knew one thing for certain. Whether the Council accepted them or not, humanity would continue. They would keep exploring. They would keep learning. They would keep reaching for the stars, because that was what Earth had taught them. That was what millions of years of survival on the most dangerous planet in the known galaxy had bred into their very bones. Humans did not give up. Humans did not quit. Humans persisted. The presentation was about to begin. The holographic display came to life. Blue light washed across the faces of hundreds of different alien species. Greg Palmer's hands moved across the controls with care. He knew exactly what he was doing. He had practiced this presentation 100 times. "Let us start with something simple," Greg said. His voice was calm. Gravity. A 3-dimensional model of Earth appeared in the air. It rotated slowly above the floor of the assembly hall. Next to it, numbers and data began to scroll down in columns. "You mentioned that Earth's gravity would crush 70% of you," Greg continued. "That is correct. What you did not mention is that humans do not just survive this gravity. We evolved in it. Every human child learns to walk by falling down and getting back up. They do this in 1 full Earth gravity. By age 2, most human children can run." A Quillen delegate made a sound. Her translator turned it into words. "This is not impressive. Many species can run." "I am not finished," Greg said. His voice stayed polite but firm. "In Earth's gravity, the average human can carry 50% of their body weight for hours at a time. Our military people train with 70 to 80% of their body weight in equipment. Some humans can lift 3 times their own weight through training alone." He brought up more data. Numbers appeared next to images of humans lifting heavy objects. "In the lower gravity that most of you consider normal, these numbers go up. On your worlds, the average human could carry weights that would need machines for your species to move." Kate watched the aliens in the chamber. Some of them were leaning forward now. The dismissive attitude from before was starting to change into something else. Curiosity, maybe, or concern. "Now let us discuss oxygen," Greg said. The display changed to show different images. "You called Earth's oxygen toxic. Again, you are correct. 21% oxygen content will kill many species if they breathe it for too long. But for humans, it is not just survivable. It is perfect for us." He showed biological charts. Pictures of human hearts and lungs appeared in the display. Human blood uses iron to carry oxygen. Our red blood cells are designed to grab as much oxygen as possible and deliver it throughout our bodies. This lets us do something we call aerobic endurance. The average untrained human can run for several kilometers before getting tired. Trained humans can run over 40 kilometers. The best humans have run over 160 kilometers in a single session. They ran for more than 24 hours. They only stopped briefly to drink water. A sound went through the assembly. The Matharian ambassador's suit speakers made a noise. That cannot be true. It is documented fact, Kate said. Would you like to see video evidence? We have thousands of recordings of what we call marathons. These are events where thousands of humans choose to run 42 kilometers. They do this for fun. The fastest ones finish in just over 2 hours. Greg moved to the next part of the presentation. But let us talk about what you called our extinction event seasons. Earth's tilt creates temperature changes of up to 50 degrees Celsius in many places throughout the year. Humans have not only adapted to this, we have made homes in every type of environment on our planet. Pictures flashed across the display. Humans in snow and ice. Humans in jungles with heavy rain. Humans in deserts with no water. Humans on mountains where the air was thin. We live in temperatures from -40 to +50 degrees Celsius. Our species has built permanent cities in all of these places. We live on every continent on Earth. We even live at our frozen poles. We have research stations where the temperature never goes above freezing, where your sun disappears for months at a time. The Vexian ambassador shifted in his seat. Kate noticed his confident attitude from earlier had faded. Your electrical storms, Greg continued, make an average of 1 billion volts at 100,000 amperes. They happen about 44 times every second across Earth's surface. That is 16 million storms per year. Humans have learned to predict them and avoid them, but we have also learned to use them. We capture lightning and use it as a power source in some of our facilities. He showed footage of a thunderstorm. Lightning bolts lit up massive clouds. Several aliens pulled back from the display. Your tornadoes. Rotating columns of air with wind speeds up to 500 kilometers per hour. They destroy anything in their path. Humans build shelters underground. We build warning systems. We study tornadoes. Some humans even drive toward them to do research. An image appeared. It showed a vehicle driving straight at a massive tornado. That is insane, the Centaurian ambassador said. His eye stalks quivered. That is science, Kate corrected him. Those researchers have saved thousands of human lives by learning how to predict tornadoes better. Greg moved to the next set of information. You mentioned our ocean salt? Yes, it would dissolve many of your bodies. Humans swim in it for fun. Human children play in ocean water. We have crossed our oceans in wooden boats powered only by wind. We have gone down to depths of over 10 kilometers. The pressure at that depth would instantly kill most species in this room. The display showed submarines and deep-sea divers. It showed underwater research stations with humans inside them. Our acidic rain, Greg said. His voice was getting harder now. Our volcanic eruptions. Our earthquakes. Our tsunamis. Yes, they are all real. Yes, they are all deadly. And yes, humans have survived them all. Not just survived. We have built civilizations that last despite them. He brought up historical data. In the past 200 years alone, Earth has had over 1 million earthquakes strong enough for humans to feel. Dozens were strong enough to destroy cities. We rebuild. We make our buildings stronger. We continue. Kate stepped forward again. You asked why Earth is classified as a death world. Here is what you do not understand. Earth is not just trying to kill us with its weather and earthquakes. Earth is trying to kill us with everything. She nodded to Greg. He brought up new data. Several delegates made sounds of shock. Let me introduce you, Kate said softly, to the other things that live on Earth. The display showed a creature with 8 legs and multiple eyes. It had fangs that dripped with venom. This, Kate said, is what humans call a spider. This specific type is a Sydney funnel web spider. It is one of Earth's most venomous species. Its venom can kill a human child in 15 minutes. It can kill an adult in an hour. She waited. Let them think about that. Then she continued. There are over 48,000 species of spiders on Earth. They live in our homes. They live in our gardens. They live in our forests. Human children learn to identify the dangerous ones before they learn to read. Greg pulled up more images. This is a box jellyfish. Its tentacles have enough venom to kill 60 humans. This is a blue-ringed octopus. It is no bigger than your fist. Its bite has enough venom to kill 26 humans. There is no cure. This is a poison dart frog. It is 2 centimeters long. The poison on its skin can kill 10 adult humans. The assembly watched in what Kate could only describe as horror. Image after image appeared. Snakes with fangs, scorpions with stinging tails, fish with poisonous spines, crocodiles with crushing jaws. You said 70% of species here could not survive our gravity, Kate said. But Earth is not just a high-gravity world. It is a world where almost everything has evolved to kill almost everything else. She made a gesture. The display zoomed out to show Earth's entire ecosystem. Our planet has experienced 5 major extinction events. Events where over 75% of all species died. The most recent was 66 million years ago. An asteroid 10 kilometers wide hit Earth. The impact had the force of 100 teratons of TNT. The simulation showed the impact. The fireball. The shockwave that circled the entire planet. The impact winter lasted for years, Greg added. Temperatures dropped below freezing across most of the planet. 75% of all species went extinct. This included most of the dominant life forms of that time. And yet, Kate said softly, life survived. Life adapted. Life became even more dangerous. The display changed to show various predators. Lions with huge teeth, wolves that hunted in packs, bears that stood 3 meters tall, sharks with rows of razor-sharp teeth. These are Earth's current top predators. The lion can run at 80 kilometers per hour in short bursts. Its bite has a force of over 650 newtons. This great white shark can grow to 6 meters in length. It has teeth designed to saw through flesh and bone. This grizzly bear can weigh 400 kilograms. It can crush a human skull with one swipe of its paw. Kate paused. She watched the delegates' reactions. And humans hunt all of them. Not because we need to for survival anymore. Many humans do it for sport. Barbaric, someone muttered. Perhaps, Kate agreed. But it shows a point. Humans are not at the top of Earth's food chain because we are the strongest. We are not the fastest. We are at the top because we are the most adaptable and the most persistent. Greg brought up new data. Let me tell you about persistence hunting. Before we developed weapons that could throw projectiles, humans hunted by following prey animals until they collapsed from exhaustion. We cannot outrun most animals in a sprint, but we can outlast anything over distance. We would track prey for hours, sometimes for days. The animal would literally die from exhaustion and overheating. That is impossible, the Vexian ambassador protested. Greg switched to human biological data. Charts and graphs appeared in the holographic display showing information about human bodies at the cellular level. Let me show you what living on a death world does to a species, Greg said. Human bone density is 50% higher than the galactic average for our size. Our muscle tissue is denser and more efficient. Our healing capabilities are remarkable. A human can recover from broken bones in weeks. We can regrow damaged skin. Our livers can regenerate from as little as 25% of their original mass. Kate watched several aliens lean forward with interest. This was new information for many of them. Our immune systems, Kate continued, are constantly at war with Earth's microorganisms. Every human carries trillions of beneficial bacteria. These bacteria help us digest food. They fight diseases. They regulate our bodies. Our immune systems can identify and neutralize threats we have never encountered before. This is why human immune responses are so strong. They evolve to fight constant threats every single day. She paused to let this information sink in. You asked why Earth is so lethal. Now you know, Earth is lethal because it made us lethal. Every environmental threat made us adapt. Every predator made us smarter. Every disease made us more resilient. Every challenge made us more determined to survive. Greg brought up comparative data showing humans next to other galactic species. Which brings us to the real question. You have denied humanity membership because you fear we are too dangerous, too violent, too unpredictable. Kate met the Vexian ambassador's eyes directly. You are absolutely right to fear us, but not for the reasons you think. She gestured to the display. Let me tell you what else Earth taught humanity. 300 years ago, humans were stuck on Earth. We had no faster-than-light travel, no energy shields, no gravity control. We were alone in the universe as far as we knew. Images appeared showing old Earth, cities and countries. We had just finished a war that killed over 70 million humans. We had made weapons that could destroy our entire civilization. Many people thought we would destroy ourselves. Some of our own people thought so too. Greg showed footage of atomic explosions, destroyed cities, then peace treaties being signed. But we did not destroy ourselves, Kate said. Instead, we made a choice. We chose to reach for the stars rather than fight over Earth. Within 100 years, we had bases on our moon and Mars. Within 200 years, we had explored every planet in our solar system. Within 250 years, we had built our first faster-than-light ship. New images showed humanity spreading through space. Colonies on other worlds, space stations orbiting distant planets. And in all that time, Kate said quietly, we never forgot what Earth taught us. That survival requires adaptation. That challenges make us stronger. That never giving up matters more than natural advantages. The Quillen delegate's feathers stood up. This is very nice to hear, but it does not address our concerns. Your history of violence is well documented, and it matches the history of every species in this chamber, Kate interrupted. Her tone stayed respectful but firm. We have studied your histories. The Vexians fought a civil war that lasted 300 years. The Centaurians nearly destroyed themselves through pollution. The Quillens had a system where entire genetic lines were treated as slaves. She gestured to the whole assembly. Every species here has darkness in their past. The difference is that humans faced our darkness while also facing a planet that tried to kill us every single day. We learned to work together not because it was easy. We learned because it was necessary for survival. Greg pulled up statistics showing conflict rates across different species. Human conflict has decreased by 98% since we developed global communication. Our murder rate is the lowest in recorded history. Crime has dropped to almost nothing. We achieved this while still living on a death world that creates constant stress. The question is not whether humans are violent, Kate said. Every species can be violent. The question is whether we can control that violence and use our strength productively. I say that a species that learned to cooperate while living on Earth is better at maintaining peace than species who learned cooperation in easy environments. The Matharian ambassador's suit speakers crackled. You speak of control, but your biological data suggests otherwise. Your adrenaline response alone suggests a species prone to aggression. That response is exactly what makes us valuable, Kate cut in. Yes, humans have a powerful stress response. When threatened, our bodies release hormones that increase strength and speed. Our pain tolerance goes up. Our mental processing gets faster. Our heart rate doubles. Our muscles get more oxygen and energy. Our perception of time slows down, letting us react faster. She smiled slightly. You call it the fight-or-flight response. We call it getting ready. Yes, it makes us dangerous in combat, but it also makes us capable of extraordinary acts of courage and kindness. Greg brought up incident reports. Data filled the screen. 73 years ago, a human colony ship had a major failure near a Centaurian outpost. The ship was carrying 2,000 colonists. 400 of them were children. The ship was losing air. All the colonists would have died within minutes. He paused. The chamber was completely silent. The Centaurian outpost had strict rules about interfering with other species' vessels. They sent distress calls but could not legally act. The human ship's crew had no such restrictions. Despite knowing their ship was failing, despite knowing they would likely die, every single crew member stayed at their post. They managed to keep life support working for the civilian sections. They sent coordinates to the Centaurian outpost. When Centaurian rescue ships arrived, Kate continued, they found that all 72 crew members had died from radiation exposure. They had stayed in the damaged sections to maintain the failing systems. But all 2,000 colonists survived. 72 humans chose to die so that 2,000 others could live. The chamber stayed silent. Kate could see the impact of this story on the delegates. That is not violence, Kate said quietly. That is what Earth taught us. That survival sometimes means sacrifice. That the group matters more than the individual. That when death is staring at you, you do not give up. You fight. You protect others. The Vexian ambassador shifted uncomfortably. One example of bravery does not change the fact that your species comes from a death world. It does not prove you can be trusted. I have 17,000 similar examples, Greg interrupted. Data streams appeared behind him. Lists of incidents scrolled past. Humans running into burning buildings to save strangers. Humans giving their own organs to people they have never met. Humans staying behind during disasters to help others escape. This is not unusual behavior for humans. This is normal. Kate stepped forward again. You asked why Earth is so lethal. I have shown you the environmental threats, the biological threats, the physical challenges. But the real reason Earth is classified as a death world is not because it tries to kill us. It is because it made us into a species that refuses to die. She gestured to herself and Greg. Look at us. We are standing here in gravity that is 1.2 times Earth normal. We are breathing air with only 15% oxygen. This is making us lightheaded and tired. We have been doing this for 14 hours straight without complaint. Do you know why? Because compared to Earth, this is easy. Greg pulled up more data. Human pain tolerance is 160% higher than the galactic average. Our endurance is 300% higher. Our ability to function under stress is beyond your measuring systems. Not because we are genetically better than you, but because Earth demanded it. Every human child grows up learning that the world is dangerous, Kate said. We learn about earthquakes and hurricanes. We learn about poisonous plants and venomous animals. We learn that the sun can cause cancer. We learn that invisible bacteria can make us sick. And we learn that despite all of this, we keep going. We survive. We thrive. She looked around the chamber. She tried to meet as many eyes as she could. Some aliens had 2 eyes. Some had dozens. Some had no visible eyes at all. You are afraid of humans because we come from a death world. But think about this. Who would you want as allies when things go wrong? Who would you want beside you when disaster strikes? Who would you want supporting you when the universe shows its dangerous side? The Centaurian ambassador's eye stalks drooped. You make a good argument, but fear is not easy to overcome. You are asking us to accept a species that evolved in conditions we consider impossible to survive. But you are still afraid. Kate finished for him. I understand. Fear makes sense when you face something that challenges everything you thought was possible. But fear should not control your decisions. She took a deep breath. We have shown you what Earth made us. Now let me show you what we can offer the galaxy. Greg began bringing up new data. This time it was not about Earth's dangers. It was about human achievements, technology, medicine, engineering, science. You have seen what Earth demanded of us, Kate said. Now let me show you what humanity has accomplished, not despite those demands, but because of them. The mood in the chamber was changing. The initial hostility had faded. Now the no predator. Kate nodded to Greg. He brought up a new series of displays. The hostility in the chamber had changed to something else. Uncertainty, maybe. That was progress, but Kate knew the next few minutes would decide humanity's future in the galaxy. You have seen what Earth demanded of us, Kate began. Now let me show you what humanity has accomplished because of those demands. The first display showed medical data. Charts and graphs filled the air with information. Human medicine has advanced because we had no choice. We had to develop treatments for thousands of diseases. We had to learn to save people from injuries that would kill most species. We had to fix damage from environmental disasters that should not be survivable. She pointed to specific data. Our trauma surgery techniques can save patients who have lost up to 40% of their blood. Our regenerative medicine can regrow damaged tissue. Our prosthetics are so advanced that some are better than the original biological parts. Greg pulled up survival rate comparisons. Human doctors have a 97% survival rate for injuries that other species consider automatically fatal. We have shared these techniques with 3 species that allowed us to do medical exchanges. Their survival rates went up by an average of 38%. A sound went through the assembly. The Metharian ambassador leaned forward in its environmental suit. You are saying human medicine could save our people? We are saying human medicine already has saved your people, Kate replied. The Metharian colony that had the methane processing explosion 5 years ago. Human doctors were asked for advice remotely. We helped from Earth. The survival rate was 3 times higher than Metharian experts predicted. She moved on before the ambassador could respond. Our engineering is also advanced. Building structures that can survive earthquakes, hurricanes, and floods taught us things that work in any extreme environment. We have helped with 47 major construction projects across the galaxy. All of them exceeded safety expectations. Greg brought up an image of a large space station. This is the Outer Rim Research Station. It is designed to study unstable stars. The station needs shields that can handle radiation that would melt most normal materials. Human engineers designed the shielding system. It has operated safely for 12 years. The 3 previous stations in that location were destroyed within months. Our material science, Kate continued, has created compounds that can survive pressures, temperatures, and corrosive environments like those on Earth. We have shared these advances freely with species that have scientific exchanges with us. The Quillen delegate's crest flattened against its head. In her species, this meant she was thinking carefully. If human technology is so advanced, why has this not been brought to the Council's attention before? It has been, Greg said. His voice was flat. He pulled up communication records. Long lists of reports and proposals filled the display. 17 times over the past 20 years. Each time the reports were dismissed. They were rejected because they came from a Deathworld species. The same prejudice that is keeping humanity out of the Council has also prevented you from getting advances that could help every member species. Kate could see the impact of these words moving through the assembly like a wave. She pushed forward while she had their attention. But technology is not even our greatest potential contribution, she said. Let me show you something else Earth taught humanity. The display changed to show various disaster scenarios. Earthquakes destroying cities, waves washing away coastlines, volcanic ash covering huge areas. Earth does not give warnings before it tries to kill you, Kate said. A sunny day can become a tornado in minutes. The ground can start shaking with no notice. This taught humans something important. We learned rapid adaptation to crisis situations. Greg pulled up response time data. When disaster strikes, humans have developed systems that can get help to the location within hours. We have entire organizations dedicated to disaster relief. We train thousands of people specifically to respond to crises. It is built into our culture because on Earth, the next disaster is always coming. 3 months ago, Kate said, the Vrel colony in the Antares sector had a containment failure in their atmosphere processing facility. Toxic gases were spreading through the colony. Computer projections showed total evacuation would take 48 hours. The inhabitants could not survive that long. She paused. Every eye in the chamber was focused on her. Human crisis response specialists were contacted. We had people on location within 6 hours. Using methods developed for Earth's industrial disasters, they contained the leak in 14 hours. They established safe zones within 20 hours. 0 deaths from a scenario that was supposed to kill thousands. The gaseous form of the Vrel ambassador shimmered. Kate had learned this meant strong emotion in their species. You saved Antares colony? We were told it was a Vrel technical team that fixed the problem. It was a joint operation, Greg said carefully. But yes, human methods and human specialists were central to the success. We did not publicize this because the Vrel government asked us to keep it quiet. Kate stepped closer to the edge of the podium. This is what I am trying to make you understand. Earth did not just make humans survivors. It made us problem solvers. It made us innovators. It made us into a species that looks at impossible situations and asks how to fix them, not whether they can be fixed. She gestured around the chamber. You have built a civilization based on species from stable, predictable worlds. Worlds where disasters are rare, where the environment can be controlled, where challenges can be anticipated and planned for. That is a beautiful thing, but it also means you are not prepared for true chaos. The universe, Greg added, bringing up space data showing various cosmic threats, is not stable. Gamma-ray bursts, rogue planets, stars that collapse, asteroid impacts. The galaxy is full of threats that do not care about your careful planning and stable environments. When those threats appear, you need people who are used to things going wrong. Kate nodded. You need people who were raised on a planet where disaster is normal, where being adaptable means survival, where giving up is not an option because Earth never gave us that option. The Vexian ambassador had been quiet for several minutes. Now he stood up. His reptilian features were hard to read, but his body language suggested he was thinking, not just opposing. You make a strong case, he said slowly, but accepting humanity means accepting big changes to how the Council works. It means admitting that our classifications and prejudices may have been wrong. It means admitting that different does not mean dangerous, Kate replied, or rather that dangerous can still be valuable. You do not have to fear humans. You just have to understand us. The Centaurian ambassador's eye stalks moved. And if we do not? If we keep our current position? Kate met his gaze without looking away. Then humanity will continue as we have been. We will keep developing. We will keep exploring. We will keep building relationships with individual species willing to work with us. We will keep offering aid when disasters strike, even if we get no official recognition, because that is what Earth taught us to do. We keep going. But, Greg added, the galaxy will miss an opportunity to include a species that spent its entire existence learning to survive what should not be survivable, an opportunity to add the human perspective and human capabilities to the knowledge of galactic civilization. Kate pulled up a final image. Earth appeared in the holographic display, blue and green and white, turning slowly. From this distance, it looked peaceful, even beautiful. "This is what made us," she said softly. "A planet that tried to kill our ancestors with every breath, every storm, every earthquake. A planet where winter meant death if you were not prepared, where summer could mean drought, where the ocean could swallow entire ships, where invisible diseases killed millions." She turned to face the assembly. "And despite all of that, humans looked up at the stars and said, 'We want to go there.' We built ships from metal we mined from dangerous mountains. We used mathematics that took generations to develop. We launched ourselves into space knowing we might not return, because the risk was worth it." "That is the human factor," Greg said. "Not violence, not aggression, not danger. It is the absolute refusal to let obstacles stop us. It is the determination to push forward no matter what the odds are." Kate took a deep breath. "You asked why Earth is so lethal. I have shown you the environmental threats, the biological nightmares, the physical challenges, but the real answer is simpler. Earth is lethal because it had to make a species strong enough to leave it. It had to make humans into something that could survive anywhere, adapt to anything, overcome everything." She looked around the chamber one final time. "The question before you is not whether humans are dangerous. We have established that we are. The question is whether you want that danger working with you or without you. Because with or without council membership, humanity is not stopping. We are just deciding whether we do it as part of the galactic community or outside it." The chamber fell completely silent. Kate could hear her own heartbeat. Steady and strong, the product of millions of years of evolution on a world that demanded nothing less than perfection, just to survive another day. The meeting ended. Delegates began filing out of the massive chamber. But Kate noticed something she had not expected. Several ambassadors were not leaving. They were coming toward the human podium. The Matharian ambassador arrived first. Its environmental suit made soft whirring sounds as it moved. "The medical consultation you mentioned," it said through its translator. "Would humanity be willing to expand that program? Make it official?" Before Kate could answer, the Quillen delegate approached. Her feathers were lying flat now, which meant she was calm. "Our engineering teams would like to discuss your building design methods, especially for structures that can survive ground movement." One by one, delegates who had been hostile or dismissive just hours ago were now asking questions, requesting information, suggesting ways to work together. The Centaurian ambassador waited until the others had left. Then he approached slowly. "You did not win today," he said quietly, all his eye stalks focused on Kate. "The vote will take weeks, maybe months. There will be opposition." "I know," Kate replied, "but you changed minds." His eye stalks studied her carefully, including mine. "I have spent 30 years working in diplomacy. I have never seen anything like this presentation. Earth terrifies me, but I am beginning to think that is exactly why we need humans in the council." After he left, Kate and Greg stood alone in the emptying chamber. Greg began shutting down the holographic display. The images of Earth flickered out one by one. "Do you think they will approve us?" Greg asked. Kate looked up at the massive dome above them, at the beautiful architecture built by species who had never known Earth's challenges. "I think we gave them a lot to think about. The rest is up to them, and if they say no," Kate smiled slightly. She thought of the planet that had made her species through millions of years of trials. "Then we do what humans have always done. We adapt, we keep going. We continue." She picked up her data pad and headed for the exit. Her steps were steady and confident. Behind her, the last images of Earth faded from the display, but Kate carried that world with her in every cell of her body. In every beat of her heart, they could accept humanity or reject them. Either way, the children of Earth would continue reaching for the stars. It was, after all, what they had been built to do. Kate and Greg walked through the long corridors of the council building. The walls were made of the same crystal material as the main chamber. Light moved through them in patterns that hurt human eyes if you looked too long. "That went better than I expected," Greg said. He was rubbing his temples. The low oxygen was giving him a headache. "I thought they might ask us to leave halfway through." "They almost did," Kate replied. "Did you see the Vexian's face when we brought up the crew sacrifice?" I thought he was going to call for an immediate vote to reject us. But he didn't. No, he didn't. They reached the human delegation quarters. The rooms had been modified to Earth-standard gravity and atmosphere. As soon as the door closed behind them, Kate felt her body relax. Full gravity, 21% oxygen. She had not realized how much the chamber's conditions had been affecting her until now. Greg collapsed into a chair. I need to sleep for about 12 hours. Same, Kate agreed. But she walked to the window first. Outside, the council city stretched for kilometers. Buildings made of materials that did not exist on Earth. Transportation systems that worked on principles humanity was still learning. And above it all, a sky filled with 3 moons and a binary star system. This was not Earth. This would never be Earth. But maybe that was okay. Her communication device beeped. She looked at the message. It was from Admiral Hayes back on Earth, saw the transmission. Good work. Regardless of their decision, you represented humanity well. Come home when ready, Kate smiled. Come home. To Earth. To the death world that had made humanity what they were. She thought about everything they had revealed today. The dangers. The threats. The constant struggle for survival that defined life on Earth. They had shown the galaxy things that humanity had kept hidden for decades. Secrets about just how deadly their homeworld really was. But they had also shown the galaxy what those dangers had created. A species that refused to quit. That adapted to anything. That survived everything. Greg's voice interrupted her thoughts. Do you think we did the right thing? Revealing all that classified information? Kate turned from the window. We did the only thing we could do. They were going to reject us based on fear and prejudice. Now at least they will reject or accept us based on truth. And if they still reject us, then we continue. We build our own path. We make our own alliances. She sat down across from him. But I don't think they will reject us. Not all of them anyway. Greg raised an eyebrow. You sound confident. I saw their faces, Greg, when we showed them what humans can do. When we showed them what we have already done. They were scared, yes, but they were also impressed. And some of them were already thinking about how human abilities could help their own people. The Matherian ambassador definitely was. Not just them. The Quillen delegate. The Centaurian ambassador. Even some of the smaller delegations that did not speak up. They were listening. Really listening, Greg nodded slowly. So what happens now? Now we wait. The council deliberates, they argue, they debate, and eventually they vote. How long? Kate shrugged. Could be weeks. Could be months. The Centaurian said there would be opposition. He was right. This is not a simple decision for them. It should be, Greg muttered. We have the technology. We have the peaceful intentions. We have met every single requirement they set. Except one, Kate said softly. We are not from a safe, stable world. We come from a planet that should not be able to support complex life. A planet that is, by their standards, a hell world. A death world. Yes. And that scares them more than any amount of technology or good intentions can overcome. She stood up and stretched. Her muscles ached from standing for so many hours in lower gravity. But fear can be overcome. We just have to give them time. Over the next several days, Kate and Greg remained at the council station. They were not allowed to attend the deliberations. Those were closed sessions restricted to council members only. But they heard things, rumors, whispers. Some delegations were pushing for immediate acceptance. Others wanted humanity banned from ever applying again. Most were somewhere in the middle, uncertain and debating. On the 5th day, Kate received an unexpected visitor. It was the Quillen delegate who had been so dismissive during the presentation. Lieutenant Morrison, she said. Her translator made her voice sound formal. I wanted to speak with you privately. Kate invited her into the delegation quarters. The Quillen looked around with interest. This is Earth standard environment? Yes, full gravity. Normal oxygen levels for us. The Quillen took a few careful steps. Her species was much lighter than humans. In Earth gravity, she would weigh significantly more. It is substantial, Kate smiled. We are used to it. I can see why. The Quillen sat down carefully. I came to apologize. My behavior during the session was rude and dismissive. I judged your species based on fear rather than facts. You were not alone in that, Kate said. No, but I should have been better. The Quillen's feathers ruffled. I have spent the last 5 days reviewing every piece of information humanity has shared with the galaxy. Your medical research, your engineering projects, your scientific contributions. The pattern is clear. Humans have been helping us for years. Quietly, without recognition, without demanding anything in return. We help because it is the right thing to do. But why? Why help species who have rejected you, who have treated you with prejudice? Kate thought about this. Because that is what Earth taught us. That cooperation leads to survival. That helping others today might mean they help you tomorrow. That the group is more important than the individual. The Quillen was quiet for a moment. I will be voting for your acceptance. I wanted you to know that. Thank you. Do not thank me yet. There are still many who oppose you. The vote will be close. She stood to leave. But I believe humanity deserves a chance. You have earned it. After she left, Kate felt a small flicker of hope. One vote. It was a start. 2 weeks after the presentation, the vote was finally scheduled. Kate and Greg were called to a smaller chamber. Not the massive assembly hall, but a room that could hold perhaps 100 beings. The council's senior members were there, the heads of each major delegation. They would cast the votes that determined humanity's future. Kate and Greg stood at a small podium. There was no presentation this time. No holographic displays. Just them and the council members. The Centaurian ambassador spoke first. The council has deliberated extensively. We have reviewed all information provided by the human delegation. We have consulted with our own experts. We have debated the implications of accepting a species from a Class 12 death world. Kate's heart was beating fast. She kept her face calm. The vote was close, the Centaurian continued. Very close, but ultimately a decision has been reached. Kate held her breath. By a vote of 247 to 226, with 12 abstentions, the Galactic Council grants humanity provisional membership status. Kate felt her legs go weak. Greg grabbed her arm to steady her. Provisional membership. Not full membership yet, but it was a start. It was